Hi, this is Staci with Stranger Stopping Strangers. A huge thank you for everyone I'm welcoming back, and a thanks for joining to anyone new. So this is the third podcast, and the first one that I'm going to be talking to a deadhead that used to be a stranger and is now a friend. So this is groundbreaking stuff for Stranger Stopping Strangers. If you like what you're hearing, please sign up on the subscription part of the site at strangerstoppingstrangers.com, and you'll get a heads up for all the new podcasts. I'm thinking these are going to fall into a twice monthly podcast rhythm, but for now I'm getting them out once a week, so we'll just see what happens. If you'd like to be a guest in the future, then just send me something in the comment box and we'll get you on the show. Well, the past couple weeks have been crazy in the best possible way. My friend Erin and I made it down to Charlotte to see Dead & Company, and we had just the very best time. We met so many amazing deadheads from all over that range from their very first experience to seasoned followers with many, many shows under their belts. It was everything I was hoping to hear. From the scene at the hotel, hello to Darcy and Gary, and Michael with his guitar, and Bruce from the Frost shows, to the show itself. They just keep getting better and better. The music never stopped, and everyone's love lights, they were on full force. A hello to Jason and his friends. Thank you for making some space for us and dancing. So next up on the summer tour is Saratoga Springs. My husband, Rob, who started loving the music later in the game, he never got a chance to see the Grateful Dead. So I'm excited to share this experience with him. And really, there's nothing not to love from the last 3 Dead & Company shows, so I can't wait. So now for today's guest. Doug is originally from Wilbraham, Mass., the town I live in, and he lives up in Maine, and he has a fantastic restaurant called Scarlet Begonias, so clearly a kindred spirit. Check it out if you're in Brunswick, Maine, or look him up at www.scarletbegoniasmaine.com. So I have a new recording method. I think it's going to be a little clearer than last time, so let's get on with it. Stranger Stopping Strangers.
Hey, how you doing, Staci?
I am good. I'm so excited to have you on the show, you being the first guest that is specifically for this.
There you go.
Thank you. Very cool.
Go.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Tell me the beginning. Tell me what got you sucked in and your early on experiences.
Well, the Dead was one of the many bands I enjoyed when I was younger, and they came to Springfield. One of my good friends and I were just hanging out that day, and back then you could get tickets day of the show. Crazy as it sounds.
Wow.
So,
how much were the tickets?
Yeah, I don't know. I always say they were like $6 or $8, maybe something like that. 10. The tickets were so cheap back then that
Wow.
Yeah.
So where in Springfield? What was the? I'm Wilbraham.
Yeah. Well, grew up in Wilbraham, and we were at school in Wilbraham, and just cruised on down to the Civic Center and got tickets at the door, and decided to go last minute, and it was fucking awesome.
Very, very cool. So, whole show, I know we're going to play the encore, so that was the final, but just the whole experience, the people, the music.
Oh, it was great. It was everything you would expect. It was a great crowd. It was before, towards the end of their run, I think some of the crowds got a little rambunctious and young and sometimes a little out of control. I remember hearing about gate crashing and door crashing in the later years, but there was none of that. It was just a really great scene, people liking people and liking the music and dancing and doing whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
1978, so was Keith playing? Was it Keith and Donna? Or who was
well, that's what I always say. Other than Pigpen, who I was never saw because I was much too young. Keith and Donna played. I've always loved Donna. I get really frustrated when people don't like her singing and say she sounds like a cat, and I think she has always added so much to a lot of the songs that they used her in.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And, I have to just say this. I don't know if you've been watching all the feed, but Donna played with Bob Weir with Dead & Company at the Bonnaroo Festival.
Yeah, I've seen some of that, and she looks as great as ever. And just, I'm one of the people that's like, no, Brent was the one who was screaming. Donna sang beautifully. That's always what I felt. And I didn't think Brent could hit the notes as well as she did. So, Keith was still alive and playing keyboards. It was the other than Pigpen, the original band.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to play your encore song that we talked about before. I'm going to play Werewolves of London. This is from the Springfield Civic Center on May 11th, 1978.
It was awesome.
Here we go.
He came out with a huge werewolf mask on. It was amazing.
All right, awesome. So, listeners, enjoy Werewolves of London.
I can't wait.
Werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Springfield in the rain. He was looking for the place called Leopold Brooks, or to get a big dish of beef chow mein. Werewolves are like that. Howling round your kitchen door. You better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves in London again. Ran among the king. Lately he's been overheard and made fair. Let us stay away from him and rip your lungs out, Jim. But I'd like to do this here. Werewolves of London. Chain and walking with the queen. They was doing the werewolves and like that. Queen. I saw werewolves drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's, and his hair was perfect. Werewolves werewolves in London. Werewolves in London.
Well, welcome back from hearing Werewolves of London Civic Center.
That was a blast from the past. That was awesome.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
Very cool.
So then we are going to talk about the next song that we picked out together on the phone, being We Have Only Met Once.
Right. You were up in my place a couple years ago, I think it was.
I was, yes. Scarlet Begonias.
Here it's Scarlet Begonias.
Scarlet Begonias, Brunswick, Maine. You
Brunswick,
were pouring wine that I sold. Yes. You were pouring some wine. You were a customer, and then you were the first person I thought to call. That would just be fun. So we're kind of strangers, right?
There you go.
Strangers stopping strangers.
Yeah, yeah. It fits right with the name of your podcast and life in general, and a great song.
Absolutely. So we're going to do that next. We're going to play Feel Like a Stranger, right?
Yeah. I love Bobby on vocals.
Well, I told you my Bobby story. We grew up in the same home.
I know, that's crazy. The one that's in the Netflix special. We were talking about that.
The one that's in the Netflix. Yes, yeah. Bobby and I looked out the same bedroom window as children, so that's my party trick. So I know I love Bobby, and he's going so strong, so good. He has so many great messages for people right now too.
Yeah.
You know, using his platform for positivity, and we need as much of that as we can get.
Don't we need that in this world right now? Yeah.
We do. So let's go into it. So everyone, I picked one from my genre. So I started going to shows in '88. So I wanted to stay with the East Coast vibe, the summer festival vibe. So I picked Feels Like a Stranger, and this is from July 12th, 1990, at the Robert F. Kennedy Stadium. I don't know if it's still called that anymore. It's probably named after some major conglomerate. But back in the day,
computer company. Who knows, right?
Who knows? But in this archive, it was the Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in Washington, D.C., 1990. So everybody, let's enjoy.
It's a warm summer night. The stars are coming out. The band's at premium spot, and so are we. So let's listen.
Let's do it.
Secret blue. Your eyes tell more than you mean them to. Lit up and flashing like the reds and blues. Way out there on the neon avenue. Still I feel like a stranger. Feel like a stranger. We're reckless and hot. We keep firing glances across the room, and I can't stop one. Just what you got. Can't you feel I wanna buy that real soon? Feel like a stranger. Just like a stranger. We just know. Yes, in the wind, it's moving around midnight. You shoot me a look and say, let's go. Yeah, take a peek. Walk like one of the red light. Now there ain't no one looking behind.
So we're back. So
awesome.
Here we are. This is all kind of silly. This is new for both of us. So I want to ask you about the obvious. Scarlet Begonias. Your restaurant's named Scarlet Begonias. Please tell me where that story came from.
Okay, it was, 25 years ago probably. We were cruising through New Hampshire. We had just been to Lost River. The kids were sleeping in the back of the car. The dad was playing. And Scarlet Begonias came on, and my wife and I were just like, if we ever own a business, that's what it's going to be. And we made that agreement, and probably 5 years later or so, we were living in Maine and opened up the little 23 joint that we started with right up the road here. And now we're in this big, beautiful place at the train station, Scarlet Begonia. It's a great song, great restaurant.
So let me ask you this. A lot of the people come in. Do they get the theme is from that? Or?
Not as many as I thought in the beginning, but really interesting people that did. People who used to tour, and when Jerry died, they just started going on vacation. They showed up for like 6 years in a row because they would vacation up in Maine. Just all sorts of every once in a while I've had people bring pictures in. There's a guy who lives in town that actually kind of knew some of the band members, and like you, owned a house that they used to hang out in. They didn't actually live there, I think, but it was a house they did a lot of music in, so it's funny now I've met two people with a similar story.
That's awesome. Well, it all comes full circle, and I mean, it's all in the vein of what we're doing here, is just telling our stories and sharing, and we all have the love of all the love comes from the same place, and so many awesome messages that goes with it. So
it's certainly a band beyond distinction. It's certainly a band that unifies people. That if you really got it and it was part of your life, when you meet another person, you instantly have a touchstone between you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna, I was gonna pull a different Scarlet, but I've decided I'm gonna stay in Springfield on May 11th. So we're going to go back to your first experience, May 11th, my home city, kind of. And here we go. So it's May 11th, 1978, Scarlet Begonias. Let's hear it go.
dancing right. Had to learn the hard way to let her pass by, let her pass by.
full circle. Your restaurant.
Beautiful.
The song that inspired Stranger Stopping Strangers. So, and let's not even forget, once in a while you can show them the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. I mean, all-time best lyric ever.
There you go.
Well, Doug, thank you for joining me on my first real podcast with a stranger and now a friend.
There you go.
Thank
Awesome.
You.
And I'm going to have to go check to see if the sky's yellow and the sun's blue when I'm done with you.
Well, very cool. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Doug. I'm going to be up in Maine soon. We're going to try and hit the Dark Star Orchestra with you in August.
And love to see you.
Absolutely. Well, you enjoy the beautiful June day. Thank you, and we'll be in touch.
You got it. Bye.
Okay.
Aiko,
bye. Aiko.
In the world's 1942.